Dr. Dre, he going through a whole lot of stuff right now with his health. Then he's about to divorce Nicole. How you feel about that?
As far as his health, that's always gonna be my brother. And I heard the news. I called the direct contact because I don't go by rumors, TMZ. I want to go to, it's always a family member you can get to. And I called and I'm like, is he cool? And they were like, nah, he's straight. He's good. He's good right now. The world thought it was negative, but I called directly to someone at a point of contact and they assured me that he was doing fine. And I knew everything was going to be okay. It's very sad he's going through this divorce. I mean, I'm not going to pretend to say, I'm sad about it because, it is what it is. I'm happy that he's free to be himself and be around his friends again and, come back. Come back to, the family. Come back to the music.
Yeah, I remember you told me a story about how Dre introduced Michel'le to Nicole. So if you don't mind, do you mind sharing that story with the people?
Yeah. First, I want to say, Dr. Dre, I hadn't talked to him in 10 years, and I worked on the Straight Outta Compton movie. I mean, they call me anytime they're doing a movie, the Tupac, Straight Outta Compton, they'll call me, and, I shop for it. I do the clothing. And I seen him at Video Village, and Video Village is where all the producers sit at. And I hadn't seen him in a while, and I wasn't sure we were on good terms because, he had had a falling out with Daz. And of course, people connect you with who you were with back at that point. So I was kind of like, oh my God, I hope we're cool. So I looked at him and he made eye contact with me and gave me this big old Dr. Dre smile. And when you get that big old smile, I mean, it's like all teeth. It's all good. So we embraced, gave each other the biggest hug. This is on the set of Straight Outta Compton. And he said, Kenya, we made it out. We made it off of death row. And I'm like, it kind of didn't resonate. And I'm like, yeah, we made it off of death row, but you missed the beats now. He said, no, but we made it off of death row. And it took me some time to really understand what that meant. It meant that, we're here. We're in the know now. We're still working. We're still alive. We are still, successful. And I'm like, well, you're very successful. But it was good to know that the love was still there. So fast forward him getting a divorce and being sick, I care about him. That's my brother. The divorce, I hope it brings him happiness finally, I can't say that Nicole is my favorite because Michel'le was there from the beginning. And I remember one incident, this how we finally met Miss Nicole. We were going to an event and we were all leaving from Dr. Dre and Michel'le's house that night in Calabasas. So you had myself, Daz, Snoop, Shantae, Michel'le, who was still living in the house with him, and Dre. Maybe Nate Dogg was there. We were all about to leave. So the girls, we all rode together. We had our own limo. So me and Michel'le and Shantae rode together. So we're in the car, getting pretty in the car, lipstick on, happy because we're going to a big event. It might have been the Murder Was a Case party. It was something. So we walk in, cameras are flashing, everything is happy. And as we get closer and we walk in, we see Dre kind of like far off in the corner with this lighter complected woman. And I'm like, okay, who the fuck is she? So as we get closer and closer, Dre, with his big old smile, he says, hey, you guys, I want to introduce you to my new woman. Your new woman? And I'm looking around and we're all kind of dumbfounded because we all just left the Calabasas house together and we're at an event and you guys still live together and Nicole is your new woman? How did that happen in like 45 minutes? So Michel'le's, start crying. I was dumbfounded. Shantae, we were all kind of just like in a whirlspin. So immediately, Michel'le was like, I gotta go. So I decided to leave the party right away with her. I'm not letting my girl ride all the way back by herself. So Shantae stayed. Me and Michel'le got in the limo and left together, and it was so freaking effed up. Like, really? That's how we meet her, and we all were together at the house. Like, this big old setup. Like, I'm not happy with this. And Nicole is seeing front row seats that he's still living with this girl, and he's introducing you like this is crazy. So I still had love for Dre, but my heart was broken for my girl at that point. I mean, that's my girl. That was the longest ride home ever.
Yeah, man. Wow. So, do you care? Because you told a story about how he introduced Michel'le to Nicole, but as far as because Michel'le did interviews and she claims that Dr. Dre shot a gun at her. He used to put his hands on her. So, you got any knowledge or any of that?
Not for the gunshot shooting, but she was definitely an abused woman. Definitely was an abused woman. I was there. I mean, I had to cover up a black eye or two, and it was what it was. I mean, Dre was younger, more volatile. Alcohol played a role in it, and I don't take away from the person he is because my opinion on friends, he's good, but maybe in relationships he's a different person. And Michel'le did suffer some brunt of the anger. She did. My sister did, and it's no lie. She wasn't lying about that. I don't know anything about, guns being involved, but I do know black eyes were involved. That's the truth.
What went wrong between Dr. Dre and Death Row, from your point of view?
What went wrong? I think from Dr. Dre's point of view, when you think of a doctor, right? He's the doctor of music, and if you've ever been into a Dr. Dre music session, he's very private. I mean, he's an architect of the music, so he likes to be in that studio. He doesn't like a big crowd. He doesn't like the big party. It's very quaint and quiet, maybe a few fly females in there, some drink. But I think for him, Death Row got out of hand for him. It was a party every day, and the focus was not on the music. It was on this big party, like Cran-Am Studios, Larrabee Studios, the Village Recording Studios. It was a party, and I think he just frankly got tired of that. He didn't sign up for this, and he eased his way out. It was no problems, no big drama-filled incident that he left. He just decided one day I'm gone. And he was just gone, and I that's why you didn't hear anything about it until afterwards, because he didn't make a big deal out of it. He stepped away, gave Suge everything, and started from scratch. And I think people got angry, towards the end of it. I mean, because he didn't say anything. He didn't talk about anybody. He didn't, say any smear. He was not on a smear campaign. He just walked away. That's how I seen it.
Right. So what was the issue between Tupac and Dre? Because I remember Tupac did make some comments about Dre being gay.
I just think all that kind of came up because I can't pinpoint exactly what was the feud between them. I sit back and I'm like, what was the feud? But maybe the feud was, it was bolstered by others, I don't think it was anything in particular. Because, they say he's gay. I mean, if he was, that's personal. So what else was the issue? I never knew what did he do? Like, what did he exactly do to piss everybody off? I mean, if he goes the other way, then that's his personal business. So I just think it was this, people were, maybe not happy that he left. That he took all the music with him, and maybe that didn't sit well. That's my thoughts, my opinion.